Okay, grade 8. Now we are in the last lesson of chapter 4. So this is lesson 9. It says qualitative graphs. You need to know the vocabulary, and you'll be required to know how to analyze qualitative graphs and how to sketch qualitative graphs. Okay, so we are here. Your success criteria. For you to be successful in this lesson, you must know how to read and understand what the question wants, how to answer all the parts to a question, how to analyze a graph that has no numbers, how to write complete sentences that describe all the parts to a graph with no numbers, how to sketch and draw a graph from a story that has no, yes, how to sketch means to draw a graph from a story that has no numbers. You'll be given a story, the story doesn't have numbers, but you'll be required to draw a graph. Okay, so by now you have realized the keywords means no numbers, yes? So that's what a qualitative graph is. It is a graph representing non-numerical situations. That means there is no numbers on the graph, or there is no numbers in the story. Okay, so I went ahead and explained it further. It is a graph that has no numbers on both the x and the y axis. Okay, so here is a question. Draw a graph that represents each of these situations and analyze the graph. So they're telling you to think of a scenario where you're selling shoes. So that means you're making money. That means there's a revenue. Okay, revenue means you're making money from sales. So you should know the word revenue. Revenue is the money you get from selling. Okay? All right, or sales. Okay. So there's so many graphs I can draw. So I am selling shoes. First of all, I know I have an X and a Y axis. That much I know. Okay. So I can decide my graph is a straight line. So why am I starting here? Why am I starting at 0? Why? Because I have not sold. Today is my first day of selling shoes, or today is the first day we received the shoes. Okay, so maybe this is my graph, then it went like this, then it went this way, then it went this way. Okay, make sure you use a ruler. I can't use a ruler now because I'm holding the phone. Or then I have to label my x-axis. So then this could be time. Okay, so within a year, or so that means January, February, March, all the way this way up to December. And then here is sales, and my sales is in AED. Okay, or my graph will still have X and Y axis, but then it is this line should go all the way, should not stop. This line should go all the way and cover your whole graph. It should not stop in the middle. Please use a ruler when you're drawing. So this is X, this is Y, this is time, this is sales. So here my time is in months. Maybe I will do this time is in hours. This is sales of a day, 1 day. So if it is in hours, that means I know it is in a day. If it is in months, I'm thinking of a whole year. extend this line so that it ends over here. Your graph should stop where you're like that. Okay? All right. So your titles are very important. Your units are also important. When you start reading the graph, the first thing you look at is the titles. So you're thinking, what is happening? What is happening in this scenario? So now here, because my lines are straight, I should see the words constant, steady, okay? So straight lines, I should see constant. I should see constant rate, or I should see a steady rate. Okay? Lines that are curved, you should use words like gradual or not at a constant rate. So curved lines, or lines that are not straight. Actually, I should say that. Lines that are not straight, not curved. I should use lines that are not straight. Okay. Non-linear, not straight. Let's just use not straight. So I will say gradual. I can also use not at a constant. Not at a constant rate. Okay? All right. So here, how do I describe these cells? When I received the shoes, okay, maybe the first 2 months, I had a constant rate of sales increasing. The sales increased at a constant rate in the first, maybe, let's say 3 months, okay? So the first 3 months, the sales increased at a constant rate. And then the next 2 months, the sales were at the same amount because it is horizontal. It did not grow. So the sales were at the same amount. Then the price dropped because the line went down. Sorry, the sales, not the price. The sales dropped. Maybe for 1 month, yes? So maybe at the 5th and 6th month, the sales dropped. After they dropped, on the 7th, maybe on the 7th month or the 6th month, the sale increased at a constant rate. So again, at the beginning, up to the 2nd month or the 3rd month, okay, there was a constant rate as the sales increased, or the sales increased at a constant rate. So when you're explaining this graph, you have to explain all the parts. Part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4. So in part 1, the sales increased at a constant rate. Part 2, the sales did not increase. The sales stayed the same. The sales stayed the same. Part 3, the sales decreased at a constant rate. The sales decreased at a constant rate. Part 4, the sales increased at a constant rate. Okay? So, let's label 1. 1, it is increase at a constant rate, at a constant rate. 2, sales stayed the same. So this is you, what is expected of you. I don't have space. Let me use another paper. Okay. So these are sentences for this graph, okay? So part 1, I will say the sales increased at a constant rate. Now we are here at the horizontal line, and if you want, you always draw your line so that you know you've done all your parts. Then part 2, the sales stayed the same for some time. For some time. And then you put the horizontal line. And then part 3, what happened in part 3? The line went down. So the sales decreased. The sales decreased at a constant rate. At a constant rate. The reason why I'm using constant rate is because I have a straight line. The reason why I'm using decrease is because my line is going down. Okay? Then part 4, what happened? My line went up. So then I say the sales increased at a constant rate of change. Okay, so that's how I explained this graph. Now let me explain this graph. So here there's no constant rate of change. Okay, so maybe in the morning people came and bought. Then maybe during the like maybe from, let's say, 12 to 2, no one came, like that. Then at 3 o'clock, the sales increased slowly. Then at 4 to 5, no one came. Then maybe at 7 to 10, when then there was a high amount of people who came to buy. So that's how I would explain my graph, okay? So then I would say, as we opened the store, okay, our sales increased. Okay, then there was 2 decreases. Our sales decreased 2 times. So then our sales declined or decreased. So use vocabulary. Declined 2 times during the day. 2 times during the day. And remember, no 2 people will write the same story. Everybody has a different way of seeing the graph, but it has to make sense, okay? Then, as the store was closing, the sales were increasing, okay? At the end of the day, there was an increase in the sale. There was an increase in the sales. Okay, and you notice I didn't use any numbers in my stories. You see, there was no numbers in my story. So that means I have written a qualitative I've analyzed the qualitative graph. I have drawn, I have analyzed. Do you see that? Okay. Now let's look at this one. Anxiety levels during an exam. So I am comparing the beginning to the end of an exam to how I am feeling. So here is exam time, and here is anxiety levels. How anxious are you feeling? How worried are you feeling? Like this. You have butterflies. That's what anxiety means. Okay. So obviously, before the exam, we are here. This is Y and this is X. Okay. So as you open the exam paper, your anxiety level shoots. After you read a couple of questions and you answer some and you notice, oh, I know, then your anxiety level goes down. And then you open the next page and then you don't know anything on that page. Your anxiety level shoots up. I can draw a graph like that. Okay? So there, I've explained my anxiety. I understood the first few questions, at the beginning, as I was reading, I was still anxious. I was worried about the exam. How am I going to do? Are the questions after very good? Yes. So then I started answering. Okay, maybe I answered a few questions. Then I noticed I'm understanding the questions. Then my level went down. Then maybe the last 5 questions, I didn't know anything. So my anxiety rate went high because now I am worried. I don't know whether I'm going to pass the exam or not. Okay? You can draw another one, different. Maybe you draw like this one. Yes, you can draw like this one. At the beginning, your anxiety level was high before you got your paper. Okay? Before you got your paper, your anxiety was high. You got the paper, you read the questions, it started decreasing. Okay? As you're answering, it stayed the same. And as you notice that you can answer all the questions correctly, then your anxiety levels went back to normal. So you can draw like that, you can draw like this. So it depends with you. Okay? I'm filling a bucket of water. So you're filling a bucket of water. So here is time and here is volume. Because water is liquid and you're collecting it, so you're comparing time and volume. The bucket is empty, the volume is 0. You've not started opening the tap. Once you open the tap, the water is coming out steadily, so your line has to be straight. So you're filling the tap, you're filling the bucket, sorry. Then, once you fill the bucket, there. Okay? Now this shows the bucket filled at that point. And that's the end of your graph. If you empty the bucket now, you take the bucket and go and pour it either in your garden or you pour it in a swimming pool or you use the water in the bucket, then because you used it completely, your line has to go back. Okay? So you should know why we use those lines. Okay, buying ice cream. So maybe I'll draw 2 here. So you are at the mall, you saw this new ice cream shop, and you are buying. It is you buying. So maybe it is, so here is ice cream. And here is what? Maybe taste. Okay. So you're paying for the ice cream, you've not tasted. You taste, you put the ice cream in your mouth, you start feeling the taste, it is increasing. So if it is nice, it continues increasing. If it is bad, you throw it away. So you can do that. Okay? So this person liked, first she put the ice cream in the mouth. She didn't like it. The taste feeling, it went down because she threw it away. If she liked it, then the graph would just stay in one place. Maybe let's draw one where the line is not straight. So we have ice cream. And here we have taste. And here is Y. Here is X. So she puts the first scoop. She doesn't understand the taste. She's taking the second scoop. She's testing. She doesn't know yet. She takes the third one. Maybe she likes it. So it goes high. Like that. Okay? So there. Now, I have shown you how to draw. I have also shown you how to analyze. So it is up to you. Use these examples. Look at the graph. I have done the first one for you. Look at the graph, match it with the story. All these are like that. Look at the graph and match with the story. All of them. Here you'll be expected to read the scenario and write a story. You write 3 different stories. Here you have these graphs. You have 10 graphs and you have 10 stories. Here you have to write your own. Okay? So match each, cut and glue next to it in your book. See you Sunday. Okay? And make sure you do your examples. You have A, B, and C. Okay? Page 350, page 349, and page 348. See you Sunday.